I am excited to be here with you today, talking about one of my favorite things. What is it? Walk it like I talk it. 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 Are you ready to not only talk the talk, but walk out the walk of what it is that you want in your life and in your Mary Kay business? I just thought, I'd add that in. I love the Migos. So I thought I'd add that little thing in since it went along with our topic of talk the talk and walk the walk. So I am here today to help you with your mindset, help your mindset to match up with what it is that you really, really and truly want to create with your Mary Kay business and outside of your Mary Kay business. So let's get started. Let's get right to it. And by the way, what I'm teaching you today, of course, this is going to take time and effort to put in for the mental work that you need to do. So I'm giving you some quick little tips, but then it's going to be up to you to begin to put these things into practice so that you can shift your mindset, because it's not really about what you're doing, okay? It is about who you are being and who you are becoming in the process of that. So let's go. Number one, you want to make sure that you know and are crystal clear on what is it that you want. Now, you have said to yourself many times, I want this, I want that, whatever, but really, really and truly, what do you want? Not just inside of Mary Kay. So not just like, okay, I want to be a red jacket. I want to be a director. I want to drive a Cadillac. I want to make a lot of money with my Mary Kay business. But what is it outside of Mary Kay? What is it that brings you joy? What makes your heart sing? What are you passionate about? What makes you want to jump out of bed because you know that the things that you are doing in your Mary Kay business can lead you to these things outside of your Mary Kay business? For example, maybe you want to take some fabulous vacation that you've been promising your family. Maybe you want to pay off, all your credit card debt. Maybe you want to have enough money in the bank to retire or to put your kids through private school or college with no student loans. What is it that you truly, truly want? That is number one. Write it down. Number two, set your intention on what it is that you want. When you set your intention, you open up the possibilities for everything. When you set your intention, what does that mean? That means you have an aim. You have a focus. You have a goal. You have your blinders on. You're not looking to the left or to the right. You are only focused on that thing. You have set your intention on it and you have decided. When you decide, you cut off all the other options, which opens up so many more possibilities. When you decide, God begins to shift people, places, things in your directions because you're in alignment with what he gave you. The idea he gave you or the desire that he gave you, he gave it to you. So he has equipped you for it, but you got to decide and you got to set that intention on it so that you can walk it out. Okay. Number three is to begin to act as if. Act as if you already have that thing. You already are that person. When you begin to do that, oh my goodness, you begin to step into who it is that you are becoming. I remember when I was earning the use of my first pink Cadillac, I remember driving to Angelique's house. Angelique Talbert, one of my best friends in Mary Kay. I remember going to her house. I actually was on the way to the distribution center to pick up an order. I stopped at her house and I was like, okay, Angelique, I'm, of course, earning this Cadillac and everything. I'm on the way to the distribution center. She says, well, why don't you just take my car? Why don't you just take the Cadillac? I go, really? So I had been seeing myself. I had been listening to pink Cadillac. 100 times a day. I saw myself in the Cadillac. I was being a Cadillac director. I would walk into my meeting like it was this fabulous Cadillac director. I was talking it. I was walking it. Y'all, when I got in that car and I was able to drive that car to the distribution center, I pulled up to pick up my order. Well, at the time, the distribution center, the windows were tinted and they were tinted with a mirror tint. Well, I pull up on the side and I look over and I'm, what? I was it was I'm a Cadillac director, even though I wasn't in my Cadillac, I was in her Cadillac, but I was oh, this is totally done. And so I acted as if it was already finished. Okay. I want you to fast forward to maybe, leadership conference or fast forward to seminar. of 2023, and it is the 60th anniversary seminar. And I want you to act as if you are crossing that stage already as a trip director, as a director, as a CALEC director, whatever it is. I want you to fast forward to where you want to be and act as if. Okay, that is super important. Like, you should already be swinging from the chandeliers, like, because it's already finished and you're acting as if. I remember even before I was a sales director, I was in DIQ, and I would walk into the meeting in my red jacket like, oh, like I'm a director. I would just walk in, and Angelique was my adopted director at the time, and I would walk in and I would greet the guests and, hi, my name is Menina. Who are you a guest of? I mean, I was really pretending like I was already a sales director. So are you getting the picture for acting as if? That's number 3. Number 4, you want to visualize it. And in addition to the word visualize, I'm going to use the word imagination, because what I found is that people can relate to that word imagination, because when you were a little kid, like, you use your imagination all the time. Some kind of way, when we get to be an adult, we don't use our imagination as much. So when I say visualize and I'm telling people to see it, I've had people tell me, well, I close my eyes and I don't see nothing but my eyeballs. I just see black behind my eyeballs. Okay, so that means you want to use your imagination. Let's use that word instead of visualize. Let's use your imagination. Okay, in your imagination, you want to see yourself inside of this dream that you have. You want to see yourself inside of what you want. So I shared this story on my unit meeting the other night, and I told them that when I was little, my neighbor next to me, who was my best friend, Tonette Jaramilla, she was Filipino. Her family had the best parties. Her mom made the best food. Oh my goodness, she made the best lumpia. Like, that's a Filipino dish, but she made the best. Like, I can remember it like it was yesterday. Well, she had this bush next to her house that was in between our houses, and it had these huge leaves, okay, on this bush. And I remember my mom gave us we had a Marie Callender's pie tin, okay, and that was our pot. And we would pull off some of those big leaves, and we got some dirt, and we would mix water in the dirt, and we would put the dirt into the leaves of this bush, and we would fold it up like it was a taco. And we'd be like, this is so good. We're having tacos tonight. I mean, like, you cannot tell us that we were not really pretending like we were making tacos. We were using our imagination. That is what you want to do with what it is that you want. I want you to use that imagination vividly, okay? I feel like when you're using your imagination, you can see yourself the way that God sees you. So if He gave you a dream, He gave you a desire for something, He wants to give us the desires of our heart. So your imagination helps you line yourself up with how He already sees you, okay? So use your imagination to visualize yourself living inside of your dream. I mean, you're going to do this so much so that when it comes to fruition, okay, when it really comes to fruition in the physical, you're going to feel like you had already been there a million times before, because you spent time imagining it multiple times a day and seeing yourself there multiple times a day. So it becomes like your reality. Okay. Super, super important. So that's number 4. Number 5 is going to be to verbalize it. So you begin to speak those things that be not as though they are. You speak it over yourself. You speak it to yourself. Every day I am in the mirror telling myself who I am, who I truly am. God made us in His likeness and image. He made us to be able to be like Him and speak. He says that you can have whatever you say, but most of you keep saying what you have. Okay, you can have whatever you say. You can have whatever you speak, but you keep speaking what you have. There's a difference. So begin to speak those things that be not as though they are. Begin to speak those things that He has spoken to you and told you who you are and what you are to have, and speak those things over yourself and speak it to yourself. You want to make sure that the words coming out of your mouth are aligning with who you know you are and what He says that you have. And you'll begin to catch yourself. You'll begin to catch yourself when those doubtful thoughts creep in. I want you to begin to catch them, literally. Mary Kay used to teach us to hit our two fists together and say, cancel, cancel. If something comes in that you are like, ooh, that is not in line with who I said I am. That is not in line with what I said that I am to be and what I'm going to have. And that's not in line with my vision. That's not in line with what I imagine. So that has got to go. You cancel it out and you replace it with a new thought. You replace it with the truth. You replace it with who you are. So you're going to begin to verbalize it and speak and speak and speak. And as you speak, it begins to get into your heart. And as it gets into your heart, you begin to believe it. Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. And so we hear God's word. And who else we hear the most? That inner voice inside of us, that inner voice that is constantly chatting. So make sure that that inner voice is saying the right thing. Okay? So speak it. Okay? And then number 6 is to internalize it. Internalize it. That means when you are adding the feeling behind what you are seeing and what you are speaking, you're adding the feeling along with it. Like, what is that going to feel like as you cross that seminar stage? Like, you literally put yourself on the stage, and you're seeing out into the audience and you're feeling those hot lights on you, and you go and sit inside of a car. Like when I sat inside of Angelique's Cadillac, I felt the leather seats like clutching around me. When last year, when Katrina let me try on her national jacket, and actually like this past seminar, she let me put on that national jacket and be able to feel that St. John knit. It felt so different from this tweed suit. I mean, oh my goodness, like I can feel it right now as I'm talking to you. Like I can feel like that soft knit on my skin. Okay, so you want to begin to internalize the feeling of it. If your desire is to drive a car, go to the Chevy dealer, go to the Cadillac dealer, sit inside of it, smell it, smell the leather in the Cadillac, or smell the cloth in the Malibu or the Equinox. Feel the steering wheel. Add the feeling along with it. That is super important, because as you begin to internalize it, you begin to accept it as your reality. It becomes like a part of you, a part of your character. Like you are this person, or you have this car, and you feel what it feels like. You get it? When you put the thought with the emotion, that is what begins to create the picture. And as you have the picture, that is what begins to create what is playing on your life's projector. Okay, that's what begins to project onto your life. So all of these things are so important. Know what you want, set the intention, act as if, visualize / imagine, verbalize and internalize. Those 6 things are what is going to take you where it is that you want to go. I promise you, I have done this for so many years, and I continue to do this all the time, multiple times a day. I am talking the talk, and I see myself walking the walk. How does all this happen? Who knows? How does the plan come together? We don't know. But what we do know is as you take the steps, God will give you that next step. He will give you the next step. And not a moment before will you get that next step before you take that first step. He's not going to show you the whole picture. Okay, he ain't going to show you all the hows, meaning he's not going to show you like, okay, well, it's going to be this plus this equals this. It's not going to be like that. Okay, so you have to just begin to talk the talk and be willing to walk the walk. And before you know it, you will be there. And so I want to encourage you guys to do this on a daily basis, hourly basis, if need be. Okay. And I promise you, not I think, but I know that it will make all the difference in the world. Have $1 million day.